Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to solve another SQL problem from LeetCode website. And the name of this problem is Exchange Seats. And today is our day 70 of 100 days of SQL challenge, where I will be solving one SQL question each day. And I hope you guys are also solving one SQL question with me to practice SQL. And we are doing SQL 50 series where we are doing medium level problems. So let us read this problem and try to solve this. So I have this seat table where I have two columns, that is ID and student. ID is of the data type integer and this student is varchar data type, right? ID is the primary key unique values column for this table. This means that this ID column will only have the unique values and it cannot have null value as well. Each row of this table indicates the name and the ID of a student, right? So in the input table, each row indicates the ID and his name, right? ID is a continuous increment. So as you can see, it is 1, then it became 2, 3 and 4, right? So it is a continuous increment, right? Write a solution to swap the seat ID of every two consecutive students. If the number of students is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped, right? Return the result table order by ID in ascending order. Okay, so what we need to do is, here in the input table you can see that here this is ID and this is basically second row, right? What we need to do, we need to swap this. So for example, this first ID, his name is Abot, and second his name is Doris. So we need to swap these. So here ID1 should be Doris now and ID2 should be Abot now, right? So these two are get swapped. Now here for 3 and 4 we also do the same. So for 3, previously it was Emerson and 4 it was green, so it is now swapped. So 3 is green and 4 is Emerson, right? And for 5 it is James and this James, right? And they have said that note that if the number of students is odd, there is no need to change the last one's seat, right? So here the number is odd, so we don't have to change the last one seat, so it is James, right? Okay, so I hope you understand this question, and I have made this table in my SQL server. So let's go to SQL server so that you people can understand it easily. All right, so this is seat table and this is the data inside them. Now what I can do is I can write this query where I need to swap these basically student ID consecutive IDs, right? So what I can say that I want to first select, let's say ID, right? And from which table? From seat. So first let me write that seat, and now I want the ID, and then let me select the student as well. So student, quickly run this. All right, now what I can do is, so this Doris I want upwards and this About I want downwards, right? So we can use here lead and lag statement. So first let me write this lead statement. So lead, and then what I want to on which column I want to use lead. So on student column, so I can say this, let me just quickly copy this, right? So lead of this, right, over, and I want to do that order by this ID. Okay, so order by this ID in ascending order, right? Okay, so now see here, for example, this one ID1 About, right? So lead is, so here for second Doris, in front of this Doris it will come About, right? And for Emerson it so for example here Doris, right? So here we are using lead. So first here it will become this about will come here, and this Doris will come here, and this Emerson will come in front of this green, right? So let me run this again and show you. Okay, so as you can see that in front of Doris it is now Emerson, and in front of about it is Doris. Okay, so now let me use lag as well. Okay, so lag, and I want to write all the capital letters, okay, keywords in capital letters, right? So lead lag of this student over order by again ID in ascending order, right? And let me show you. So now if we are using lag, so here this in front of Doris about will come, right? Previous one, and let me just show you. Okay, that's good. Now what I can do is, see, in front of about I want a Doris, this is correct, right? Now for example ID 3 Emerson I want green, this is also correct. For example here James, it is null, that is also correct, but we can, we need James here, we can handle that later on, right? All right, so what we can do is we can say that if ID, if I can divide this ID by 2 and the remainder is 1, that means the ID is odd, right? So in front of odd I can use this lead, right? So first ID 1, this is correct. For ID 3, this is correct. For ID 5, we can correct this later on, right? And if for even IDs, right, for 2 and for 4, this lag is correct, right? This lag is correct. So I can use the case statement where I can say that case when ID divided by 2, if the remainder is equals to 1, it means it is odd, and I can use this lead, right? So let me just quickly do that. So I can say that case when this ID remainder 2 is equals to 1, then this, right? And else. So if this condition checks for odd, so else it will be even. So for even I want this condition, right? So I can say else this one, and I can end this column. So end this column as, and in the output it want the this as a student, right? The column name should be this one. All right, and now let me just quickly run this. All right, so now you can see that here this column I swapped the IDs consecutively. So for this Abbott and Doris, it is now Doris and Abbott. For Emerson and Green, it is now Green and Emerson. And for this James, right, I want here this James, right? So what I can do here, I can use the coalesce function, and whenever the here, so for example, let me use that first and then I can show you. Okay, so here I can use the coalesce function. So coalesce function. Okay, here I am using coalesce function on this, so it will give me Doris, Abbott, Green, Emerson, and when it will find null, I want this James. So I can say that comma this student. So let me just quickly copy this student. All right, and what it will do now, it will give me Doris, Abbott, Green, Emerson, and when it will find null, it will give this value, right? And what that is what I want. So let me just run this. Okay, now here you can see that it is good. So now here I want this ID and this one student, right? So I can remove this one. Okay, and now let me just quickly submit this code as well. Let me just quickly copy and submit into the LeetCode environment. Okay, and I guess they also said that we have to order by this, yeah, so return the result table order by id. So let me just quickly do that. So order by id, okay, in ascending order. So by default it's ascending, so we don't have to write ASC. Okay, so it gets accepted. And now let me just quickly submit the code as well. And guys, if you are liking my videos, please subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment as well if you don't understand anything. And please practice one SQL question along with me so that you can be really good in SQL and crack your SQL interviews, right? And this gets successfully submitted as well. And again, thank you so much for watching this video.